That's right. We are live. Welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole. I have here our resident Matrix Online advisor, Vesuvius.
Welcome, everybody. We are about to get into it.
Yeah, it's a late nighter. So we didn't these things are kind of freestyle in terms of when we're actually going live. So I'm not expecting a whole lot of people to be joining us tonight on a late Monday night. But there's always the playback. So, if anybody missed anything, you can always go back and watch at your own leisure. All the live streams are in the live stream playlist. But I just wanted to thank everybody who has subscribed. We did hit that 4,000 subscribers within the week. So tonight, some point during this live stream, we're going to reveal that title.
Yes.
Yeah, see, Lorenzo says, "Gotta study these law books, but leaving a like and we'll watch later on." That's right. The playback is always here, and it's good to see you're getting your actual study on. So good luck hitting those books. And like you said, we'll be here in the playback so you can check out this title reveal. We're gonna talk about some of the audio that was released after the full trailer. That was, I believe, was it exclusive to the Matrix Instagram, the Matrix Resurrection Instagram official Instagram page? Was that the only place that had that audio? Or
That's the only place I heard it. But yeah, it was kind of like a 30-second TV spot, except
yeah,
I don't. It's not just a TV spot. Obviously, it's on the internet.
yeah. Actually, speaking of the internet, I'm glad you said that. Let me go ahead and tweet this out. Let everyone know that we are live right now. Let a couple more people jump on in the room here, and we're gonna get into that audio. We'll play that audio from the Matrix Movie official Instagram account and discuss some things there because there was a couple lines that we didn't have access to when the full trailer came out. And then that was the other thing too. We watched the full trailer in the live stream without sound, so there was that too. All right, so I did tweet that out to everybody. So hopefully a couple more people will be joining us. But like I said, we're gonna go over to the here we go, the Instagram page of the official Matrix movie account. Blow that up here. Uh, but yeah, once again, I want to thank everybody who's subscribed. We hit that 4,000, so we're gonna go ahead and reveal that Fanimatrix title tonight. Um, if you are just now joining us, make sure you like the stream on the way in. Um, yeah, let's go ahead and we can give it just like one more minute to let a couple more people get in here, and then we'll go ahead and play. It's the one with Keanu's hands up, yeah, because that's like the IGTV thing, right? Yeah, we want this one.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of flow for a minute here. We've got some talk going on about what exactly is canon. So I've I've put together like a tier to see. Well, not so much to see. Basically, what I think, and you and I have talked about it. We did a whole live stream about,
I was gonna say
you
there's a
know,
live stream in this playlist
yeah.
of
So I
what's
want to
canon and
link
what's
that.
not. Yeah.
So of course, like I did a little write up and I shared it in Discord. Shared it in Discord first. That way, if somebody's going to catch something if I screwed something up. But I think I got all the chapters down, and all that stuff is correct as far as which writer was responsible for which chapters, because in my opinion, different writers have different levels of canon. So
Okay.
obviously, the trilogy is canon, and I think all of the Animatrix is canon. But like Enter the Matrix, basically canon, but I dropped that down to the second tier because what if you play as Ghost? You have different events that take place, different things that happen. They're slightly different. Um, we
Yeah,
talked
no,
about non-linear.
there's levels to it. I hear you now on this Enter the Matrix conversation, right? So I'm trying to remember outside of the Persephone scene and stuff where they had to like split it. Are their cinematics different though? Like it's not like a different outcome. You know what I mean? Like either way, whether you're Ghost or Niobe, you run into the Keymaker. You know what I mean? Like and he's still there for Neo and Trinity and Morpheus to get him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just how they happen are a little bit different. So, um, I basically put those on the second tier because it is still canon, but there's a little there's a little talk about it.
Yeah, no, I would be for me because of the scenes where like Niobe and Ghost are in the car and the chase scene, the highway chase scene, and they catch Morpheus with the car.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's it. Like, that's the end of the conversation. Like, that's canon. It just shows you what happened right before that. Opposite of the path of Neo, but that's like a whole nother conversation, right?
it is. That's a fun one though.
He says it's like Sonic Adventure. You got to play as Sonic and Shadow to get the full story. It's a
That's
great
right.
reference.
And nothing wrong with that. I mean, they found a way to expand it through a video game and then expand it a little bit further through another player.
So Gerard asked, "What is the perspective of each character? I haven't played that game in a long time." Yeah, I mean, like I said, there are very subtle differences, um, going through, at least as far as the overall story is concerned and its connection to the films.
Yeah,
With
I
the
would say
go.
non-linear. They interweave. While Niobe is talking to Locke in Zion, Ghost is talking to Trinity in Zion. So it's basically all canon.
And you have the ghost, the Stone Garden scene where he's sparring with Trinity and that whole thing. So that's specific to Ghost. Um,
Yeah,
but again, that doesn't do anything to harm the integrity of the storyline, or it doesn't retcon or do anything to make us say, oh, that can't be canon. Um, but yeah, so real quick, just to get on the thumbnail here, that we did talk about that shot in the last live. Yaya, what appears to be in the real world, and it appears to be, this kind of Deus ex machina kind of flurry of nanobots to make a real world Morpheus is how it looks in the still shot. I mean, we don't know exactly what's happening there, but no, I just love it because, somewhere on this channel, buried deep in the first handful of videos, there's a video of me playing the Matrix Online and having a meeting with Morpheus. And you know, uh our faction in the Matrix Online at the time, our whole kind of fan fiction plot or backstory was this kind of Terminator, Skynet, uh Matrix crossover thing. And it was a lot of fun playing the Matrix Online and role playing with this kind of crossover storyline. So to see that look, again, I don't know how they're going to explain it, but just to see that kind of Terminator flavored look. I mean, and that's I posted the meme on the community tab of Morpheus requesting a time displacement unit from Skynet in their response. But even just holding those pictures side by side, I mean, the color grading, I mean, it's spot on. Like, you couldn't tell me those were from two different movies.
yeah, it's definitely pulling some thoughts from other franchises, but it looks really cool. Like it really looks like yeah. The special effects are wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really, as I'm saying, like, I'm excited. Like you said, it's levels to it. Like, there's so many levels to my excitement. Because I was thinking about that. I was like listening to like a clip of the playback. I was like, oh, it sounds like I'm not even that excited, but it's like I'm so excited that I'm like trying to remain calm. So I guess like I'm overselling the calm, but I'm pretty all over the place with my excitement. Um, and that's the thing. Like, I think you even talked about it at the end of the last live, of just kind of letting everything settle in and like decompressing and just kind of settling down, I guess. But as I was trying to do that, then this audio comes out on the Instagram page, and I'm like, oh man, I got more to figure out here, more work to do.
The bat signal's back up. It's like, all right, got to go back to work.
John says, I still believe to this day that the Merovingian has giant kung fu ants in his basement.
Oh yeah, they're in his Blackwood prison. They're definitely from a weird version of the Matrix, and if anyone's going to have them, it's the Merovingian.
So okay, I think we let some people come in here and join us in class here. So again, if you're just now joining us, make sure you like the stream. We want to reach and touch every Matrix fan that we can, but we're gonna go ahead and listen to the audio of this Instagram post from the official Matrix movie Instagram. Now, I'm not sure. Right, I can't really control the volume on the Instagram post, but hopefully it won't be too loud. Hopefully it'll work out here.
Looks like old code.
It feels really familiar.
Drop a pin. I'll signal for backup. Did you hear that? I think our signal was traced. Bugs, this feels like a trap.
I'm gonna check it out.
Watch the full trailer on YouTube now.
Zeke, I'm in.
Looks like old code.
It feels really familiar.
Drop a pin. I'll signal for backup. Did you hear that? I think our signal was traced. Bugs, this feels like a trap.
I'm gonna check it out.
Watch.
I love how like the full trailer's on YouTube, like that's like their ad line. It's like, oh, you guys in the YouTube Matrix now? Really? All right. I ain't mad at it. So yeah, what are your initial thoughts here, other than Warner is in the YouTube Matrix now?
Okay, so the first couple things that really excite me is that we get a couple of names. And the first name, and I believe it's Jessica Henwick's character that says it. Originally, I thought she said Snake, which a little bit cheesy, but maybe it's, I don't know, Seek, like hide and seek. Maybe Zeke. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought I heard Zeke, but I'm not sure.
Okay, well, maybe I'm the only one that's saying Snake. But the first time I heard it, I thought she said Snake, and I was like, I don't know about that one, but I'll go with it. Snake, bug, whatever. So, but the names are so far in the trilogy, they all have a pretty good meaning. So, depending on the character's personality traits, it could seem cheesy at first, but it'll probably have a deeper meaning. But I'm excited. We get the names. We get bugs. Okay, that was something that was leaked, and now we can talk about it really openly without having to inform people that, hey, this might be a spoiler. Yeah, we got that in a leak, and it's confirmed. And not everything that we've gotten in the leaks has been confirmed. Some, I think that we were told like, oh, there's not going to be any agents, but we clearly see agents. So, not everything is exactly as we were told, but that's cool too.
Yeah. So yeah, no. The first thing, well, what I noticed was, of course, it's a clip, right? So it's probably edited. I doubt that that's like straight dialogue, right?
Oh no.
But within that dialogue, I definitely got the impression that like the opening scene would be, a callback to the original Matrix opening scene, but instead of Cypher and Trinity on the phone, you have Bugs and Snake, Zeke, whatever the character name is. So that I thought was kind of cool. It's the old code reference. That is probably what stood out to me the most. I'm guessing that's like a reference to maybe Neo himself, or maybe he's manipulating the code. And if you look at that next shot, I guess that's the shot from the full trailer. With him walking around in the green coat around him, perhaps as he's becoming more Neo-like or back to being himself, that old code is manipulated again, or brought back, so to speak. I don't know.
So my first thought was, maybe he's still carrying that Prime program, which is something that I really thought that at the end of Revolutions was extracted from him and used to balance the equation and eliminate Smith. Of course, we know that there's still bits of Smith out there in the ether, and showed up in the Matrix Online and a couple of different characters. But if Neo is coming back, then Smith is coming back. It's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So
Now,
it could, pertain to that as well.
yeah, now we talked about that. I know on your podcast, but I mean, I feel like the jury is still out on that whole reset, prime code reinsertion thing in terms of the end of Revolutions. I'm hoping that at least will be addressed in the Matrix Resurrections, but they, after Revolutions, they like to use the word reconfigured a lot.
Mm-hmm.
but we don't get a whole lot of quote unquote reset. I mean, so I guess that would be to your point. Neo could be very well still carrying the Prime program, and it might not have been used at the end of Revolutions to reset the Matrix. It could have simply been reconfigured after the Smith virus was eradicated, especially with the architect honoring the truce. There might not have been a need to so-called reset the Matrix. So
Yeah, and I still think that the Matrix was not reloaded using the Prime program at the end of Revolutions, and that what we see at the very end with the sunrise is not the seventh version of the Matrix. It's still the sixth version. But
right.
the problem is that version is going to crash, especially now that they're letting people out. So in the Matrix Online, I think, took place in this no man's land or this limbo of the sixth version of the Matrix. But just watching the trailer, you can tell that this is not the sixth version of the Matrix. And the other thing is, they don't need that old version of the Matrix anymore, because that was a cyclical system. It relied on Neo rebooting it and the system of control continuing. The paradigm has changed, so the simulation will change as well. It looks like we have a completely different version of the Matrix, and I'm going to stick to my original thought that the events of the Matrix Online took place in that sixth version, but now clearly it's different.
Yeah, I can definitely. I mean, even just the choice in cinematography. I definitely feel like there's a statement as far as this being a different version. And for me, we got to experience that in the Matrix Online. So it's like not shocking. I feel like it's more kind of MXO nodding, if you will, or similarities at the very least.
But like the old code statement.
Or just so much or I guess I'm talking more in the sense that this is a truce error or a new version.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they explain that part of it.
Right. No, I'm definitely waiting to see. I would hope that that's going to be addressed directly. And then another thing here, I had your Instagram page up here because I noticed you were making a lot of different parallels. So we talked about the code eyes a little bit in the last live stream when we noticed it. What did you uncover since the last live stream?
Oh, well, the picture on the right, where the guy with the bandana, so that's Kryptos. He's
Crypto,
a
yeah.
Matrix Online character, And in the Discord chat, Ebola actually made that parallel. That once, Kryptos's background is that he was a radical Zionite, and he was friends with Cypher, and they wanted to destroy the Matrix, or at least Kryptos did. And something about Kryptos, he went missing. He turns up in the Matrix as a radical machinist, but it turns out the machines overwrote his consciousness, and it was an experiment. They actually copied what Smith did to Bane, and they tried to reprogram Kryptos, and it wasn't perfect. It was close, but it wasn't perfect. So he began to malfunction, and at the same time, Seraph got some new powers from an accident that he had, and he was able to see the machine overwritten code into humans and extract that code. So people would come back and they'd be like after Seraph would, basically beat them up and extract the code, they were like, oh, I don't remember what happened the last few weeks or a few months. So it's because their consciousness was kind of put on pause. So I think that this character that we see in the trailer, that this is actually a very big deal. This is like another step in that evolution between humans and machines. I think it's got some pretty big implications.
Well, the most obvious implication to me is that is obviously a nod to the Matrix Online. I mean, what they say, the camera doesn't lie. Like, I mean, it's right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, just in case you were wondering, yes, Lana Wachowski is gonna pay homage to the Matrix Online, and in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just this single visual, which I doubt. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be more than that. But I mean, this is the evidence right here. I mean, we're looking at it.
Now, when we did that speculation podcast, I said something about it. I was like, even if it's something little, like somebody in the background with like some glowing green eyes or some code eyes, that would be so cool. And it's like one of the very first clips that you get in the official trailer.
Be careful what you wish for.
No, they're listening to my podcast. That's what it is. No, but it's very cool, and it may be directly, but even if it's not indirect, and it's like, well, let's just do a nod, even though it's not going to follow the exact same storyline. It's still a cool detail, and it's a pretty cool effect too.
Okay, so Cody says that this effect that people's eyes turn green code like that in the first Matrix movie, where? Right, but that speaks. Okay, so he's saying when the agent takes them over, but that speaks to the point that Vesuvius was saying, that in the original Matrix, the agents taking them over was all we saw in this kind of space. But then when we get to the Matrix Online and the crypto storyline, that's where we get more in depth of the machines overriding human consciousness, longer than that temporary agent possession. I think in Resurrections, what's happening is, with this whole swarm runners thing, that, you're going to have a whole crowd of people possessed in that way. But, so similar graphics, but different usage. And the usage, I believe, is going to be closer to the Matrix Online usage. I got to go look at that now, though. I'm trying to think if there's a screenshot that I can pull up just to show what the animation looked like from the original Matrix film.
Well, there was the Morpheus rescue. There was the subway. That's where agents took over humans, and yeah, like it wasn't so much like in their eyes. It was like it was in their face. But the subway one's a good one because it was dark, and the guy that he took over, that Smith took over, he wasn't like,
The homeless guy.
yeah, he wasn't like spasming, Like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you got a leg cramp and you start freaking out. He was like sitting still, or he was laying still, instead of like jerking all over. So that's probably a good one.
Yeah, I'm not finding any still shots. Maybe if I look for just that clip.
Yeah, that clip, it's probably on YouTube too.
How would I search for that specific clip though? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Subway fight.
Let's see here.
So originally, I thought that it was the Unlimit, which they had code coming out of their eyes, and it would like drip down. So the story with the Unlimits, which was actually the least desirable and the least liked storyline, was that they were these codes from older versions of the Matrix, and if you consumed these codes, then they would give you upgrades. You would get like agent powers. Some people got like some real crazy powers, like extra arms and stuff like that. And originally in the game, they were supposed to be available for players, but the game code was so convoluted that when they tested it, the person, the player, would like crash, like the game would just crash, and it wasn't worth putting it out to the players. But that code effect was in there originally, so I actually have that somewhere on that Instagram as well.
Yeah, and I just want to throw out there that for me, the Unlimited story wasn't my most hated storyline. I think that'd be the Oligarchs, but
Well, it's not so much that I didn't like the Unlimited storyline. I remember at the time the updates were like getting delayed, so it was, and the story seemed to go on for well over a chapter. It was like 2 chapters, so it felt long, and the main character, or the main antagonist, was Anom, and he was very annoying. Like nobody liked him. He was not a likable character. He wasn't even an interesting character. Because
yeah,
obviously you're not supposed to like the villain, but he wasn't even interesting.
no, and I'll give you that. I didn't like the Anom character, but I wasn't as offended by the cheat codes as some people were. All right, so real quick, let's look at. Let me see if I can pull the screen up here. So this is what I have on the homeless guy. I mean, the code is like running on his face, but then they cut to, you know what? I'll just hit play here. See, I mean, I don't know if that's really the same. Then we're gonna go to Neo and Trinity, and when we come back, it's Agent Smith. Like, so I'm trying to get over to these comments here. Oh, right. So that's one of Beverly's comments, but the one that I was looking for is right here. It says, "I listened to Lana's talk today. Very interesting on how she was dealing with her grief due to the Matrix 4." Yeah, I did watch the interview. I haven't decided how I wanted to cover that. I wasn't sure if I should do like a highlight video or a live reaction to it. So, but I did see that. What I was gonna say is that my first hearing of that was actually in the Steve Scroce and Jeff Darrow interview, which is on the Wolverine Connection video in this channel. So that interview is actually up. It's a very rare interview, but it's one of my favorites in terms of perspective of people who worked on the project. And yeah, he did mention that was the inspiration for the Matrix 4. So when for me, seeing it, as a story now, just kind of confirmed what he said, which is always cool. It's always a fun feeling for me to see that information I shared with you guys is validated later on. It's like, oh, right, good intel. Keep that good track record going. John asks, why do you think he got credit in IMDb? We've been talking about this a couple times, and I know the live streams are long, so you might not have heard everything. But we did mention right now the leading theory is that he's got either screen time, visually, vocally, or both in a flashback, and that's probably why he got credit. That would kind of fit everything that he said in the interview on this channel in terms of tone and him being credited on IMDb. It makes everything fit. As well as viewer anon and Soups kind of verifying that they didn't see him in it, as the older kid or Clayton Watson, excuse me. So yeah, I think that it's going to be a flashback that he's in. I've seen mixed feelings about the other scenes that we've seen that are from the original Matrix movie, if those are flashbacks or new actors replaying it or whatever. I'm still thinking that those are all flashbacks because we see the shot with Thomas Anderson and then the Matrix movie playing on the projected screen on the wall. So I mean the movie itself is playing, so I'm guessing that those scenes are flashbacks with either a remastered touch or different color grading or something like that. Perhaps a take or a cut that wasn't in the final last time. It could be something like that, so that it looks slightly different. But yeah, I definitely think we're going to get a dose of flashbacks.
Yeah, and if they're going to be playing, clips of the old movies, then that might be it. It might be somewhere in there.
But yeah, before I forget, are you going to be around tomorrow night too?
I can be.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we should split that up. Maybe we should talk about the that writer's interview tomorrow. Just because I think it deserves its own discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to wrap that up in here. And too much going on, but he said I'm hoping we get some more Jada Pinkett soon. Yeah, was she in any of the trailer clips and any of the teasers?
I have not seen her. I didn't hear her either. So maybe maybe we can give that another listen, see if we hear Miss Jada Pinkett.
Yeah, John says no Jada or Merv in the trailer. Now I've been told that the Merv is seen snapping his fingers.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't we hear that in the last
That's
live?
him. Apparently that's him. I don't know. It seems to me like that's a woman's hand. The shape of the hips looks like a woman to me.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I hadn't confirmed that I saw him. I have seen people mention that they saw him, but I didn't, freeze a frame where I said, "Oh, look, there's Lambert Wilson." Like, I haven't had that moment yet.
Well, I can send it to you if you want to put it up.
Yeah, go for it.
Let's see.
Because I was just gonna jump back to your Instagram page, but send me that so we can take a look while we're on that topic. Because the next thing I wanted to bring up was your lover's leap photo.
Oh, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. I thought that was a really good pickup on your behalf.
Now, I actually I shared that when I first saw the leaked footage of them jumping off. And by the way, I want to reiterate that it's confirmed that that's really Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss that are jumping off the building and not stunt doubles. So
Right.
early on, if we had known that, I mean, that is absolutely crazy. And how does that pitch meeting go? It's like you're sitting down at dinner and it's like, so listen, we want to do another Matrix 4, but we want you to jump off a building. Like a real, 60-story building. Honestly, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, you're not Keanu Reeves, though. We are living in a Keanu sense.
Yeah, but I mean, if someone's gonna pay me $10 million to do it, I'm gonna be like, listen, I gotta sleep on it.
I'm like, give me that red pill and the 10 milli check, please. Thank you. Gerard says, was it really them? Yes, it was.
Yes.
I know Ellen Hallman confirmed that the quote unquote performers in that shot were the actual performers, and now that we have footage of them in that scene in the trailer, we know that it's them. So
Yeah, that is commitment right there. My goodness, they are committed to this movie.
yeah, I'm not real like I've never gone skydiving or anything. I'm not like looking forward to jumping out of a moving aircraft, but you know, like you said, $10 million or whatever Keanu's getting paid for it. You could sign me up for that.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't know if I could do
He's
it. I
like,
might
I don't
chicken
know.
out. Like they're gonna recast Trinity or Neo because they're scared. Oh man, see, I might have backed out.
I mean, my whole thing is like take like a crow for example. You know, Brandon Lee. I mean, like that's an accident. Like you know what I'm saying. Like you don't know that that's coming. You know, that's on the ground. You know, feet on the ground. So anything can happen. But we're going off on a tangent here. Did you were you able to find that picture or no? Because we can just go
I
into this
found it.
lover leaves thing.
Yeah, I found it, and I'm going to be sending it over to you on the Discord chat here in a minute. And send.
Okay, I got it. Oh, the ring isn't that on your Instagram page?
Might be.
Yeah, let's because we're gonna share that screen anyway. So we'll come back to Lovers Leap. Let me see if I can find it on your Instagram. I thought it was on there. Oh, you've posted so many pictures since then.
Yeah, and a lot of people are posting stuff, so I can't keep really track of everything.
Okay, here you go. So that's supposed to be the Merovingian snapping his fingers,
So I'm
right? Because
told.
you were talking, and you were talking about the cufflinks. That's why you were kind of sold on it before, because you said they were like fancy cufflinks.
Yeah, but when I talked about that, that was going off of memory. And when I looked at it, I was like, I don't remember it being leather. And I kind of, like, the way I even described it was the cuff overlapped.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, they don't even, like, touch. The cuff link, like, attaches them. So, um, I don't know. The hips look a little curvier to me than I would imagine Lambert Wilson.
Honestly, when I first saw that picture, I just naturally thought that that was Jonathan Groff's hand.
Yeah, it looks like a leather jacket or something, and it looks like Neo is standing behind
Or sitting behind him, I think.
something, like in a doorway or something.
I mean, that blurry though, that could be Christina Ricci back there. I'm not sure.
Well, with that, like she tends to have the short hair. It looks like Keanu Reeves' hair, like he's got that long hair. Well, actually, wait, no beard.
That's about to say I don't see a fuzzy beard
Yeah,
though.
no beard.
But just from a swag perspective, I thought that like I said, when I first saw that image, I thought that was Groff's hand. I didn't think Merovingian. I guess if we wanted to go really hard, we could try to find hand pictures with their hands in them and zoom in. But I don't know that that's gonna reap the results I'm looking for.
Yeah, there was somebody that was trying to look at arm hair for like an Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know, like I'll look at this person's hand and I'll say, "Wow, that looks like a female hand, but no long nails." And that's as far as I'll go with that.
Yeah, no, I love this thing, but yeah, I think that might be diving too deep down the rabbit hole for me, at least on this evening. Um, all right, so let's go now that we're on your Instagram page. Let me jump over to this Lovers Leap picture, which is here. Which I think, like I said, this is like a really great parallel that you picked up on. So yeah, since you're more familiar with the Sentinel, do you want to go ahead and describe what's going on here? Give the lead in for this conversation.
Sure. Okay, so this newspaper that the person is looking at is called the Sentinel, and it's something that the writer of the Matrix Online, Paul Chadwick, released like this web-based newspaper. And it was called the Sentinel, and the tagline was "Watching everyone and everything," and it's just It's the Big Brother eye. So it's written by blue pills, or I would say copper tops, but it reveals that there's something going on that the copper tops don't quite understand, and that's the red pill exile machine activity that's going on in the city. So what happened here, this particular screenshot is from one of the cinematics, and I think I even wrote it's like 4.3 or something like that. There's a rooftop battle, and these two red pills get hit, and they both fall off the roof and die. They didn't jump off, so like we know what happened. And here's the thing: this guy's reading the newspaper. The camera pans up, and then these two people get hit and fall off the roof. So the timeline, it's like weird. It's like prophetic. Now, I thought that this was interesting because it doesn't describe the events that happened exactly. Okay, we pan up, they get hit, they fall off, they probably die. But people were there to see it, so this is how it got reported. Like, oh yeah, these two lovers, they jumped off, they committed suicide together. But it's just crazy that now in the Matrix 4, this has got to be, what, 9 years later? If this particular episode came out in 2006, where are we? Oh no, that's like 15 years later. 15 years later, and we have lovers jumping off a roof together. And if one of them can't fly, then they commit suicide together.
Well, what I like about everything that you just mentioned here, as you mentioned, the Sentinel is written from a blue pill perspective. So you know, in the context of the Matrix universe, I mean, even like the Morpheus stuff, right? The newspaper clippings from the internet in the first film, right? He's a international terrorist, right? There's got to be
Yes.
like the news story to cover up all this weirdness. So again, I feel like this is one of those many nods that says Lana Wachowski is not only paid attention to the Matrix Online, but using its influence in this film. And didn't you asked Chadwick about this, right?
Yeah, I asked him if he knew about this. And he said that he does not remember. He doesn't remember knowing, and that more than likely he didn't know anything about, I guess no pre-knowledge about events that could happen later.
Right. And
So,
in fairness, it was a long time ago. But this is one of those things where she could have easily just gone back and looked through stuff and said, "Oh, look, this is a Sentinel storyline. I can use this." You know what I mean?
oh yeah, it's obscure though. It's
Oh, for
obscure.
sure. For sure.
But I mean, kudos to her if she's going through the Matrix Online this deeply. My goodness. So let me
No.
see that tweet that where
I am
Chadwick
not surprised by this. I would have been disappointed if there was none of this. The fact that we're finding these kind of gems already is crazy good. Like, this is what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. Stuff for us to dig around and try to connect the dots. I would have been very, very sad if they left that element out of this installment. If they would have left that out of this installment, it would have immediately told me that it was only about selling merch and, cashing in on the whole quote unquote reboot wave.
So I asked, "Did you always know Cinematic 4.1?" And I did like a picture of Seraph like asking the Oracle, "Did you always know?" And she's like, "No, but I had." So he says, "I frankly don't remember, and my computer says I can't open my drafts of the Sentinel because they're the wrong file type. Grr. So I probably didn't know." So like, well, yeah, but that's a crazy coincidence. Thanks for the reply. We do have a complete archive of the Sentinels, thanks to Aranos. So he asked me for a link. Sent him the
Nice.
link,
I
and
missed that part of the conversation. Yeah.
he liked the link reply. So Maybe he's going through old sentinels right now. Who knows? But I asked him about a month ago, before the excitement started to really build with the official releases. I asked him if he had a non-disclosure agreement, because before asking him that, I asked him if he would, do a podcast, and he'll usually interact on Twitter, but he wasn't interacting at all. So I was like, oh, maybe he's got a non-disclosure agreement. And then I probably had a couple of beers and tweeted Paul Chadwick and asked him if he had a non-disclosure agreement, but he did not reply.
A little liquid courage there, but yeah, it's pretty cool that he replied in the first place. And actually, some of the people in the room here were in the room when he jumped into our live stream and asked us a couple questions about the right, Don Davis, right? So
Yeah.
so yeah, no, that's always cool to get that feedback, on Twitter from someone who helped create and build this area of the Matrix universe that we got to play in. And that's, I think, been kind of fun for all of us, right? It's just the hype bringing us all back to that time of the Matrix Online and playing in that space. And, you see it online on Twitter, on the Discord, here in these live streams. Like, it's just really, really, it's a very exciting time, to put it short. But yeah, I'm just having fun with this whole wave. I mean, things are slowing down from last week, but there's still there's still a lot of positive Matrix fan energy floating around for everybody. So I am wondering what's going to be next as far as the official Warner stuff goes. I think there was like a couple of other parallel things that you found here, though, that you posted on your Instagram. Let me just close this real quick. And right, we mentioned seeing the antennas on top of the towers in the live stream. Okay, so what's going on with the goggles here?
All right, so the goggles. Now, we don't see two characters wearing the same sunglasses in the same movie. And we see Yaya's character, or Morpheus, wearing these round glasses, and the frames seem to go from one arm across both the frames and to the arm of the on the other side. And we see Jessica Henwick's character, Bugs, put those sunglasses on before she opens the door for Neo. And she kind of stands attentively at the door like Seraph did, waiting for him to go through and exit the mirror on the other side, or seemingly exit the mirror on the other side. And she's wearing those glasses. So, since we're talking old code, maybe these goggles or these glasses help them see the old code, similar to the data node locator goggles from the Matrix Online. So, and now a data node was like, listen, we know that the Matrix was imperfect and that there are errors in it, and players could load up this ability tree to siphon information from these cracks in the Matrix code. And it was a very boring gameplay item. Okay, you basically just stand around and press a couple buttons. Like that's what you do, like while you're doing your homework. Like you'll get a little bit of information, which was the currency, and you get a little bit of experience points if you tap a node.
Yeah, I was about to say, I remember tapping nodes.
Now it looked cool, because like as you walk around, like you would just see like Matrix code, like just like pockets of it. It had like cool sound effects and everything. And I got a couple of cool screenshots on the Instagram of like.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I was trying to think.
Down.
I'm like, which video? I know in one of those videos, I think I like opened up with the data node green lightning rod looking thing. Let's see if I can find it for those who've never seen it before.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool, but it was really boring. And I'll tell you a funny story. Back in when we were playing the game, somebody told us that if you go into this certain neighborhood during this patch of the game, you can tap a special data node, and it will teleport you and your team to a construct that nobody has ever been to before. So I remember Frack told me about this. Frack was like a big EPM player on Recursion. So we all got a bunch of teams together and we went to whatever the hell neighborhood it was. And we just tapped data nodes for like 3 hours. And it was so freaking boring. And then we found out that there was like a big Cypherite attack on the other side of the city. and we just fell for it hook, line, and sinker and just wasted a whole lot of time.
It was basically like the hackers pull on the roof gag, right?
Yes, exactly. I thought my story would be a little more interesting and funny. But yeah, we fell for it. And then eventually they made like a whole construct where they made data mining interesting. You could get these special codes and make special cool things. So anyway, maybe these special glasses that they wear are, I don't know, some kind of, special glasses.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely loving the the item drop kind of parallel you're making here.
How about that box of code that Neo's in?
What image is this you're talking about?
This is okay. So you remember when he's kind of walking through the code in the beginning of the trailer, and you
Right,
see
in
the
the
red
street.
hotel sign? Yeah,
Right.
he's in a box.
Oh, the box of code. Now I see what you mean by
Yeah.
that. Actually, that's on their Instagram page. Let me just pull that up while talking about so people know what we're talking about. Oh, that's like the trailer though. Hold on.
Oh,
So,
I've got a repeating clip on my Instagram if you
but
want.
you're talking about this scene, right? In the middle here, this image.
Go over to SteamYard. Yes. Oh, and this leads me into the synopsis. Apparently, there's a synopsis.
What synopsis?
A synopsis of the movie, or like released
This is
from Warner Brothers.
wait. This is not the Geekdom one. You're talking about something else.
I haven't heard about the Geekdom one. What is it? Is it the
Well, no,
leak?
the Geekdom one is the one we did the live stream. With the test
Oh
screening.
no, this is an official synopsis.
Oh, is it on IMDb? What are we talking about here?
No, it's on whatisthematrix.com, I think. So I started reading something, and you're gonna kill me. It was on Screen Rant, and so we're over here going over the trailer like forwards and backwards and flipping it upside down and looking through it, and then I go and I read Screen Rant, and it says these sequels are going to be decanonized. I just stopped reading. I just went and hit myself over the head with a hammer for 45 minutes instead. It was more productive than reading a Screen Rant article. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about, but that's Screen Rant being Screen Rant. Neomatrixology does not endorse my ideas or opinions. But I later found out, and I think I found like this afternoon, that there's a synopsis. So I'm loading up whatisthematrix.com right now. I'm going to see if there's a tab for it or something.
Well, no, I
But
pulled it up. It's on the screen right now. I mean, we hit it. We when we did the live stream of the full trailer, that's when we realized that there was those tabs. So we clicked it. We didn't read it out loud because there's a lot of text. There's a lot of actors listed in credits and stuff like that. So we didn't read the whole thing. But yeah, it was there that day. So we've seen it before. I just didn't like deep dive into it.
well, I must be a little overloaded then. I tell you, as these official things become released and available to us, my excitement is running away with me a little bit. And for example, when I said that Neo sees a bunch of flies up in the air, I mean that's clearly birds. So I don't know why. I was so convinced that was flies.
You want that assassin's cameo bad, huh?
I mean, kinda. He's a fly
The assassin,
monster.
yeah,
I
the
want to know
assassin
if he
wasn't my
really
favorite.
fits.
He wasn't my favorite character in the Matrix
He
Online. I'll put it that way.
he was cool looking for a video game character, but not a Matrix character.
Yeah, there was just something about him that kind of, I mean, other than his design task, there was something about him that I just didn't like. I'm also biased because of the whole, like, I wasn't level 50 when the Assassin's Mask event was going on.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I was probably still like in like the 20s or early 30s or something like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't really combat like that yet. So I was very frustrated with that whole live event. I wanted to participate more than I could at that time. So that might be part of it. But yeah, no, I definitely understand what you mean about the excitement kind of consuming and overwhelming you. So many people are so excited over this news this week. So what in the synopsis did you want to point to? Because I've got it up here. What here did they point out was like this whole retconning? Because I'm not seeing, like I said, I'm seeing a whole lot of credit being given to the cast and crew, but I'm not seeing anything that's like plot related, or we would have read it during the live stream before, you know?
Well, I haven't read it yet, to tell you the truth. But if there's nothing alarming in it, then I don't mind just bypassing it. I don't know. I kind of feel like I know the synopsis. I know the cast and the crew. It's like, do I really need to read the synopsis?
Like I'm just skimming it now. It does not look like there's anything here that you don't know already. Like I said, I don't see anything plot related. I don't see anything that would tell you, anything about the story, especially its connection to the Matrix Online or
Well,
lack thereof.
we know that the sequels are canon because Neo's eyes are scarred. They're like scarred shut, and we can see that in the trailer. So, Screen Rant has got to they've got to open up another tab in their browser and look around a little bit.
I'm even gonna let's click the right because when we click the universe tab, right, we did this. Yeah, it just tells you to buy the 4K remastered versions of the original trilogy. Buy my book. Okay, here's the synopsis. Maybe they mean this synopsis.
No, it's from the
No, that's
visionary
right. That's the
filmmaker.
right. Yeah, that's the synopsis of each individual film of the originals. Yeah, that ain't it. No, no, no.
All right, so nothing to see here then.
Yeah.
So one thing that I've noticed that's also very different is the design of the title. We don't have that matrix cut up font anymore. It's a little cleaner with some effect on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little cleaner, but it's still got a little bit of that. I guess it does have some cut up on it, but it's different. It doesn't have the glow, doesn't have the motion blur.
Well, speaking of titles, I guess it's about that time, right?
Is it time?
I
We hit
think it might
4K,
be.
right?
Yeah, well actually, okay, so technically I think we hit 4K like Saturday. But I was on the road. I was working. And what day did we have the live? The trailer went live. What day was that?
The 9th. It was a Tuesday or a Thursday? It was a Thursday.
Thursday. Right. Dude, that's crazy. So we had the live stream on Thursday and you said we got to hit 4K. So we got basically like 300 new subscribers in like 2 days. Was how that
That's
went.
awesome, man. Congratulations.
Yeah. No, thanks. I
Well
mean,
deserved.
it was your idea, so thanks for having that idea on the fly, and thank all of you for subscribing and being here and hanging out with us and making this experience fun, more fun than it's supposed to be. We're definitely riding the hype train until all of the wheels fall off the track. Um, but yeah, this is that moment where we promise to deliver the title graphic of the fan fiction that I've been working on, just so you guys don't think that I'm making it up. But yeah, we have been working on it, and it's really fun because it's the actress, the lead actress is a Matrix fan, and the cameraman is a Matrix fan, and all the people working on the graphic inserts and different things are all Matrix fans. So you just feel that energy in every step and in every piece of this collaboration, and that's just been this amazing thing. But yeah, I guess without further ado, I will.
I'm tweeting it out that you're in a moment you're going to
Yeah,
be
in a moment, because I want to
in
make
a
this
moment.
full screen, and I mean it's only like 10 seconds long, but uh,
But this is exciting. This is you've been at this for a little over 2 years. You've been doing your homework, been presenting the lessons. I appreciate you having me. I love doing this stuff, and we're going to get more out of you.
yeah, and I appreciate you being here as well. And especially everybody participating in these live streams, you included, because like I said, with everything going on, just working more with these times, schedules are unpredictable to say the least for me. And yeah, with working on this project and it taking so much, it's been a lot harder to have production time for just regular videos, so the live streams really allow us to go over new stuff every week, and still um keep our ear to the Matrix street, so to speak, and not get lost in the sauce, or get left behind with everything that's going on, because everything's moving real fast with the Resurrections trailer dropping this week. I mean, because it was so quiet for so long, so it's like it didn't even matter. Like it was like, whatever, we don't have a trailer yet. Everybody's just checking to see if we had a trailer, and that was kind of it. Like, it's like, is the trailer out yet? No. All right, wake me up when it's out, when it comes out. Well, wake up. It's that time. School is back. We're back to work. And yeah, and like I said, the one thing about this project, it's a passion project, so it's not technically work. It's fun. It's like I said, this collaborative Matrix fan experience, and that's what I came here for. So to be able to do it, I really hope that you guys end up appreciating the final product when it is ready. But yeah, I think. Well, did you tweet that out? Because I wanted to give you a chance to do your thing in the Twitter
I did.
Matrix there.
I did tweet that out. Yep.
All right, so let's see if we got the screen here. All right, and so without further ado, this is the title sequence for the Fanimatrix episode we're working on. And that's it. That's all you get tonight.
Yes. I like the code. Thank you for using authentic code and not the letters and numbers. That's authentic Matrix code. I appreciate that.
Well, all thanks goes to Troxada. Yeah, I know you are familiar with Troxada, so shout out to Troxada on the animation there. That's who put that together.
Yeah, Traxada did a couple of videos for me. He did my opening sequence where you're kind of creeping up on the operator chair and then you go into the monitor and it shows the Matrix Online revisited with some sound effects. And he also did the meet and greet trailer. Oh, and the Radio Free Zion commercial as well with the dancing agent. So yeah, he's got he knows what he's doing because he can crank these things out pretty good, and he is for hire. So if anybody needs any 3D rendering or some videos, you can contact either one of us, and we can get you in touch with the man.
Yeah, and of course, everybody who's working on this is going to be credited. But like Vesuvius said, if you're looking, we can definitely put you in contact with him. He does good work. Um, yeah, no, it's exciting. Hold on, we got a comment here. He says, "Can't wait to see new lore videos next year after the film release. Best Matrix lore channel. Can't understand why this channel has only 4K subs." Well, thank you for being one of those 4K. Um, like I said, we're gonna keep things going here. I mean, honestly, like I've been looking around, and when Vesuvius and I started going really hard, 2 summers ago, like right before they announced the Matrix 4, this space looked totally different. I mean, there was nobody in the emulator. You know what I'm saying? The Discord was all quiet. Like it was like, that scene in the ghost town scene where you step outside the saloon and there's like no one, the tumbleweed goes across the screen, like, and now here we are, and it's like a totally different party. And that's just awesome. But the other side of that coin is there's also like, that's the thing at the time, 2 years ago, 2 summers ago, like all the Matrix channels were all like old, like, not current videos uploaded, like, everything was like 09, 2010. There wasn't a whole lot of activity. And now, I mean, I guess what I'm getting after is one of the things that really motivated me to start this channel was to kind of raise the bar. And I think that has happened in the past 2 years. And I get it that a lot of that is because of the movie coming out, and that changes the level of hype and the excitement, and it rekindled the fire for many of us and is introducing new and younger people to the franchise, and all of that is part of it. But I like to believe that we helped. I like to believe that we did our part as Matrix fans, and everybody here who took the yellow pill, and and everybody who was the first in line, before the club opened. Like, I really appreciate you guys. Like, you guys are who I want to party with. Speaking of, it looks like with the trailer being released last week that the December 22nd date is going to hold up. So excuse me. See, I'm so excited I can't even talk. Project Matriculated it appears to be on schedule. So if you do want to watch the movie and party with us on December 22nd, it's going down. Yeah. Once again, that was something we talked about that summer on Twitter 2 years ago. So to see all of these things coming together and falling into place is just, manifestation. Dreams coming true in front of your face and all that good happy joy stuff. So yeah, and eventually I want to get into more of how that can relate to the Matrix, but that's like 700 level Matrix University courses. We're not there yet. we got a long way to go. We got a lot to cover. Yeah, so it's exciting though. Is there any more trailer stuff that happened since our last live stream that we need to cover tonight? I want to make sure that we cover all that stuff.
I think Yaya sent out a Instagram post or a tweet that's pretty relevant.
Okay, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Thank you, Beverly. I'm glad that you loved it. I love that you loved it. I really do think that, like I said, all these different Matrix fans working on this, I think, is going to show up on the screen. And it's not perfect, and I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that, and I'm okay with that. But I think you guys are going to appreciate all the hard work we're putting into this thing. You said Yaya's Instagram.
Yeah, and like Kazim asked, there's only 4,000 subs. That's organic growth. That's organic growth. That's 4,000 people that actually view.
Now it's the image with him holding the guns, or
Yeah, the crisscross.
Okay. All right, I have it up on the screen here. Oh, well, there you go. Morpheus. Confirmed. Awesome.
And then you look at your title card, and I just got it begs the question: is it really Morpheus? I mean, I could have named my son Morpheus if I wanted to. It don't mean he's Morpheus, you know.
But that's what I mean, that's one of the reasons why I selected that image for this live stream. Like I said, in the very beginning, that one shot just had so many Terminator vibes for me. And when we were doing that, actually, I don't think the data node is in that. I was looking for that video um from the Matrix Online, but yeah, I didn't see that coming. So when I saw the image of Yaya in that very Terminator looking look, it just brought me back to that fandom, to that time in the Matrix Online where we were playing in that kind of crossover space. And for me, like that video, like the meeting with Morpheus video, that's why I referenced it, because the idea behind that video was that if he died inside the Matrix, which in the Matrix Online he does, that his consciousness could be either cached or saved or resurrected in some way. Now, how they explore that in the Matrix Online, of course, we don't know fully. But even in the Matrix Online, you had the general's sim kind of go off the rails and become his own kind of become his own programming. And even in that kind of space, one could argue, okay, yeah, it's not the human Morpheus, but if there are elements of his memories, it's not weird or strange to call the copy or the simulation Morpheus at all. Especially if he's, operating from that same energy or that same space. I'm really, I really wish I could remember which video had the data node tapping in it. But I'm probably not going to be able to find it tonight. But yeah, the main thing, at least for me as a Matrix fan, is just curiosity in terms of how they're going to explain that. I don't think he's trolling. Like, I don't think he put Morpheus in his Instagram page just to mess with everybody. Like, that would be really cruel. Did I lose you there?
No, I'm just pondering, I suppose. I mean, he's definitely got some. He's got some Morpheus, I guess, tropes and personality traits. The things that he says. He offers the pills. I think it's a little odd that we have Jessica Henwick, her character Bugs, so prominent, but she's not the one that offers him the choice. And I've heard that she is Captain Bugs of the Nemazine. So if she's the captain, who is Yaya Morpheus to her? Like I'm a little, it's not clear, and I know it's not supposed to be with such a preliminary look at the plot, but it's kind of funny that he's the one offering the choice. He's the one training her, and not her.
Well, I've seen people aren't people speculating that she is Trinity.
I haven't heard that. She was even described as a Neo-like character.
Well, I think that's why people are jumping to that conclusion because of the whole. Well, we slowed down that one shot of the full trailer where there's the scream, the Carrie Ann Moss screen, and you scream, and
Yeah.
you can like see the Jessica Henwick shadows in there or whatever. Oh, I think I found it. Is
Oh, yeah.
this? Can you see StreamYard?
Let me check. Oh yeah, the access node.
Yes. So for anyone who was curious, this is what an access node in the Matrix Online looked like, or at least the cool part of it. There was a very boring panel at the bottom that you stood at, but
Yeah. So if this thing was glowing, it means that you didn't have access to that neighborhood. So the agents would appear and kill you if you stayed in one spot for too long.
for too long, you had to keep it moving.
Yeah, so you had to farm out a special key in another area, and then you'd like have to sneak it. Like I remember being like a level 12 or a level 15, and it's like, well, I'm just gonna go tap all the access nodes in like the high level areas. So it would be like sneaking around and avoiding the gangs and stuff, and like you'd swoop down and tap the access node, and then hyper jump out before you get shot and killed. It was fun, but these things were cool. Like I wish there was a way to have tapped them and then keep the effect going.
Real quick, got a comment here. He says, "I feel like more and more people are coming out of the woodwork to say the Matrix sequels are underappreciated, etc." Well, that's par for the course. Yeah, I have seen, especially like over the last few months, like more people coming out and saying that they were underappreciated or that they're getting, or that the sequels get way too much hate and all that stuff. And people are entitled to their opinion. I get that everybody doesn't love them, but yeah, there's definitely a vocal minority that's very, very loud when it comes to Matrix sequel hate. But the numbers does not suggest that everyone hated it. So, and you can see the hype with these trailers. Like, there's plenty of people. I mean, I've even seen people tweet this that, with all their complaining, they're still gonna go watch the Matrix Resurrection. So, you know, um,
Yeah, I mentioned a few months back. I was on another podcast, the Kotaku podcast, and I mentioned like it seems like people's recollection of the Matrix sequels it's actually improving. They're being appreciated now a little bit more than they were at the time. And I remember when I made that statement, it was like a little quiet. Like I kind of paused for like somebody to just be like, "Oh yeah, I guess it's kind of true." No, it was like crickets. So I just kind of kept it moving. But I'm glad I'm not the only one who's noticed that. And there's also a call for like a remaster of the Enter the Matrix game and the Path of Neo game. So I think that the nostalgia is kind of helping the Matrix franchise. You're probably seeing a lot of these special effects, and special effects are great these days, but it's like, oh, so they were doing that like 15, 20 years ago. It's like, yeah.
yeah, and that was one of the I think somebody like tagged me in a video, and I did watch it. Um, and they mentioned people's disgust for the CGI, and I'm like, and this was somebody, their video was like our comment here that saying that the sequels were underappreciated. But yeah, like I've always kind of been one of those guys where I'm like, in 2003, was the graphics really that bad? Was it really that wonky in 2003 that you were like disgusted by it? Okay, in 2020, after all the Marvel movies and 15 years of CGI tech, sure, by comparison. But at the time, did it take you out of the experience? Really, it did. I I get it. The bowling pin sound effect, that jumped out. That was like, where'd that come from? Cool. Yes, that I could see where that took you out of it. It didn't take me out of that moment, but I get it that it was like, I thought like the sound guy was just trolling or having a laugh or whatever. Like, oh, I can't find something, I got to do something here. Strike, haha, But
There was like a dominoes too. There was dominoes at the end. It's like I remember rolling my eyes. I don't. I think that the domino effect was pointed out to me, but I remember when I heard the bowling pin effect, I freaking rolled my eyes, and then I was like, "All right, I'm right back in it."
But that's what I
And
mean. The sound effect took me out of it more than the visuals. That's my whole point. The CGI, how it looked, did not ruin the experience for me.
you and I make some videos. It takes a long time for these videos to render sometimes. Do you have any idea how long it must have taken to render the Burly Brawl?
Right.
It's
Right, because
very
if the movie
impressive.
came out in 2003 and they shot them together, they probably actually did it in 2002.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think they started production in 2000, and I forget how long. Either you or Star Shore like pulled it off the top of your head. How long that they worked on the movies, just like principal photography. But it was a long freaking time.
Yeah, I mean, and at that time they were like legitimately revolutionizing the game between them and the Final Fantasy guys. Who the Final Fantasy guys ended up doing the Final Flight of the Osiris. They ended up working together anyway. There was a comment here. Where'd it go? Where's the mouse? It's over here. Oh, he said, "Yeah, the bowling pin sound was the big deal for the haters at my previous job." Yeah, I get it. It was weird. It stood out. He says the CGI in Revolutions has aged incredibly well. That is what we call an unpopular opinion, but not one I disagree with. JC says Animatrix is only $5 to buy, high def. I think that is a good deal. Although I definitely bought like that Walmart bin that like has like trilogies all in like one box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely bought the Matrix Walmart box set that had like all three and the Animatrix just because like I had them all individually, but I was like, you're gonna sell me all these for $10, yo? Sold. Yeah, I'd be hard pressed to. I don't know if you're gonna find that floating around Walmart anymore. Because weren't you telling me that the hard copy comic is now like sold out?
I thought you told me.
Then it must have been like a Discord combo.
Yes, somebody said that they were looking for it and they couldn't find it. And then didn't you say that if you had known it was a limited run that you would have bought like 10 copies?
Yeah, that's what I said. Because I'm serious. If I would have known if it would have said limited edition when I bought it, I would have definitely bought 10. I'd have bought 10 that first day. But I'm glad I have the one that I do have, and I recommend it to anybody who is even remotely curious about it. It is worth the price of admission.
I wonder what the Trinity copy is going for, because I think everybody,
Right. That's like the
everybody
rare
was
one,
getting
right?
the baby copy.
Yeah, that's the one I got. Right at the time, because I mean, as soon as I heard about it, I was like, okay, pre-order where,
Oh yeah.
So when I saw it, I didn't see any Trinity copy, Trinity cover anywhere. Like that wasn't a thing yet, at least not publicly. You know what I'm saying? As far as I know, the Trinity copy wasn't available until after, the release date.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they were released together. So we have
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I pre-ordered.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I don't
I
know that you
gotcha.
could pre-order the Trinity one. That's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, I get you. You couldn't choose at the time.
Yeah, as far as I know,
So
anyway.
I'm on eBay, and we have one copy with the baby cover, and it's $137, and
Ooh-wee.
it's from the UK. So that's double money right there.
Yeah. Oh, more than that. Wasn't it like $40?
I thought it was 60. Oh, let me check. I got it handy. I got my textbook, Teach. All right. Yeah, $39.99 on the back.
Yeah, baby.
Do you have yours handy?
Actually, I do.
You see the back cover? It's another parallel.
Oh, well, you have this on your Instagram, so let me pull that up so everybody can see what you're talking about. That's not the right picture. Did I pass it? No, there it is. Boom. So let me move this comment out of the way. So right, so this picture here is the back cover of the hardcover Matrix 20th anniversary edition comic. And you can see here it's got the bigger jack that we see in the Matrix Resurrections trailer.
Yeah, it's like a neck cradle.
Yeah, it's huge. Right, because that's the other thing, right? His hand is covering the original one, right?
Yeah, it just kind of looks like he's feeling it, like in the beginning,
Right,
or
right.
I should say in part one, like
Yeah,
he
the original film, yeah.
yeah. So it kind of looks like it's mirroring that, but I think that this is Trinity, and it looks like a guy's hand. So maybe Neo is touching her cranial jack. But the shot, it looks very similar to the painting or the drawing.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which comic is that from. But that might have been one of those because this comic book, the hardcover, the 20th anniversary edition has, images that weren't in any particular comic,
Yeah.
Gerard asks, will there be more animatrix for the new movie? We can only hope.
I'm gonna say with Star Wars doing an Animatrix like collection, it's a better chance. But I think we're gonna have to turn out and buy some merch and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
we got to
no.
do our part.
Well, and as you know, that's why I'm working on Beyond the Glitch, right? Now I feel
Yep.
so much better that I can say that now because I kept trying to talk around it before. But now that's the title. But yeah, to that point, we got a lot of work to do. That Star Wars community is big. But that's what I was gonna say, all those sequel haters, that's what they say. Oh, Matrix fans, they'll never have it as good as Star Wars fans. Like they'll never have
Yeah,
that kind of community or whatever. So it's like, all right, well, we'll see. We'll see.
we probably won't ever have it as bad either.
Right. There's pros and cons to being at the most crowded club in town, Um but well, there was one more thing he asked about the right, he asked if there's going to be another Animatrix, right? And that's what I was going to say cuz right, isn't Blade Runner getting another animated installment, and then you mentioned the Star Wars thing.
Yeah, it
What
looks
is,
really freaking good.
what is the name? Is that Visions?
Yeah, I
What?
believe it is. That's right.
No,
Yeah,
because
it looks freaking really good.
I'm trying to remember if it was on Instagram or Twitter. Somebody sent me something. I'm glad this came up. I want to see if I can find it here because since it came up, it'd be cool to be able to share it with you guys. They sent me some parallel, like kind of like how you have these screenshots
Yeah.
on your page that are showing the parallels between like the Matrix Online and stuff we saw in the Resurrections trailer. But he was showing parallels from the Animatrix and Vision. Um,
So I did find that story, and it is called Broadcast Depth, and that's where that image is from of the
broadcast.
girl holding
That's
her
yep.
hair back.
That I couldn't remember the title, but I knew if that comic was actually a Matrix comic, it had to be the one with the kids, those little girls, you know. Okay,
Yep.
and I found the image here. Let me try to share the screen. Um, okay, so this where it says 7 visionary directors, that's from the Visions trailer, right? And then this is from the Animatrix trailer.
Same tone.
You know? So I definitely think that Star Wars is trying to channel some Animatrix energy there. Now, will that have the effect of triggering more Animatrix episodes? That we will have to see, right? Because that's the other interesting part of this, conversation. Like we said, Project Matriculated still going down on December 22nd. Movie's coming out, right? But that means we still have the HBO Max dual theatrical release. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this plays out now. But that's one thing I did also notice, because they said what the full Matrix trailer can be seen on YouTube, right? um, let's go with right. It's on Warner's page on YouTube.
Yeah, I think it's Warner Brothers Entertainment. And I think we
Right.
hit #1 trending.
Well, that's what's getting ready to show. I mean, it's got 28 million views in 4 days, so
Whoa.
that I don't know what their you know monetization ad revenue metric is on the YouTube end, but if they can get 28 million views in 4 days, we might still be able to get Animatrix kind of stuff and video game kind of stuff and series kind of stuff, even with the HBO Max release. I'm not as worried about it as I was, 6 months ago. I'll put it that way.
So the second Malignant trailer got 3.8 million.
Mm-hmm.
Cry Macho, which is a Clint Eastwood, got 6.7 million, and that's been up for a month. Dune official main trailer, it's been up for a month, 17 million. So we are trending
Okay.
higher than that. And hold on, we got some Space Jam stuff. I expect Space Jam to be pretty darn high. Trailer 2 got 12 million. That's been up for 3 months. Scrolling.
But I mean, that's good to know that, the interest is there, that they're in the lead as far as the the trailer numbers go on the tube.
Yeah, so now I want to do a search here and check out Spider-Man's trailer. Sony Pictures, 3 weeks ago, 65 million. That's a lot.
Matthew says, speaking of Matrix books, the Art of the Matrix book was a treasure trove. I'm still mad we never got an Art of Reloaded and Revolutions. Apparently, the powers that be deemed it too expensive to print. Yeah, I mean, now, I mean, like nothing gets printed now, right? But at the time, that was like when I know what newspaper businesses were suffering, and like it was pretty much that crossover moment for all that. So I understand that it probably was expensive. And it was also like a really expensive book. So, I know they were trying to make some of that back. But yeah, I'm sure Steve Scroce, he did storyboards for this one. So, it wouldn't be unrealistic to imagine we might get one for the Matrix 4, maybe. Yeah, he says from a money perspective, they will try to capitalize on resurrections. I think there will be something like comics or anime with side stories and stuff. I mean, yeah, there's a video on my channel. It's like the Village Roadshow logo, and the CEO was talking about just the whole pandemic situation, and I think he worked at Sony during the Sony hack, and there was something else that gave him this kind of like perspective that he was bracing or preparing for the streaming wave.
Oh, yeah.
So he didn't specify that we're getting a Matrix series or stream of some sort, but I was reading in between the lines pretty hard, and it won't surprise me if it's going that direction.
It's got to be cheap to print comics. Even if you're doing a hardcover and, they're more expensive, comics are cheap. I mean, that's why there's so many versions of, Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus. It's because there's so many titles out there. Just crank out some comics. We're going to eat it up. They're
Well,
cheap. You can digitize them.
Well, you and I were talking about this, because the Matrix comics are, of course, the Matrix franchise is a Warner property, right? But the Matrix comics are printed or created through Burly Man, yeah, which is the Wachowskis, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Right. But even in the comic world, like when you talk what you were talking about before, I mean, crossovers are much more likely. There's just a lot more room for creativity. The big movie studios do not play well together. But when it comes to streamers, I mean, I feel like that was a lot of the inspiration or the approach to Beyond the Glitch was, part of it was working on, Project Matriculated and realizing that it was way too ambitious of something to try to make practically, at least at this stage. It's just got a lot of moving parts and a lot of references to characters from the Matrix Online and just things that had to have a certain look to make sense to me. So when the actress, we were talking, because the thing, I didn't plan on doing it, and she's just, oh, well, I know these guys, and they're really good with cinematography, and she's kind of like, well, what do you think about a short film? I was like, well, what do I think about it? I can do that. But once we got to that point, it's like, exactly right. I can do this, which means if I can do it, Village Roadshow and Warner could definitely do it. Like, that's the goal. Again, the idea is to raise the bar, and the best way I know how to do that is to, be the first guy through the wall. Um, so hopefully between the Matrix 4 and, like I said, the CEO already having that vision, and the fan base growing and the hype growing and the trending and the numbers escalating, hopefully, yes, we will be able to continue these live streams talking about even more new Matrix universe content, both official and unofficial. And speaking of, I renamed the collaborations playlist to, I think it's the Fanimatrix playlist now. So that's a playlist of like all the different content collaborations I've done in that kind of fan fiction space, or um parody space. But then there's also like the Matrix fan films that I really liked or really respect for whichever individual reason that I came across over the years. So like my favorite, or I consider like the best of Matrix fan films are in that playlist. So I changed the name of that just because we've been using that Fanimatrix thing to kind of describe this project. So um, if you guys haven't already, you can check that out. Right, because a couple of collaborations I did with Comical Realm are in that playlist, and he's definitely contributing to this project. So I'm really excited. It's going to look really cool. I like that
Awesome.
icon, Kavion. I see Kavion Davis in the room there. Yeah, we doing a late nighter
Kavion,
tonight.
Blondie. Kavion went blonde, I heard.
Oh, you pulled a Zach Ertz on me. That's funny. Um, yeah, no, I love that icon though. Well, all right. Again, if you guys came in late, please make sure you like the stream, uh, share it. But I want to thank everybody, all 4,000 of you yellow pillars out there, for hitting that target with us. Um, it was really. I didn't think I didn't think I was going to be showing you the title screen that quick. So to be able to hit 4,000 so fast was definitely a blessing. So thank you for that. Right, V, are you what you got going on for this week? Are you working on anything this week? Are you plugging anything? Are you getting ready to drop some more Matrix Online gems on us this week?
Well, firstly, I want to play the title again, just in case
Okay.
anybody came in. And okay. So last week, I think right before the teaser dropped, I started my breakdown of all the fight scenes for the trilogy, because the sequels get shit on, and I know some of those action sequences run on too long, but I'm kind of doing like a response video, and people think like, oh, this fight, it's pretty, but it doesn't mean anything. Every one of these fight scenes means something, and I can't be the only person to understand it. So I'm going to share my thoughts on each one of those fight scenes, and that will be hopefully my next video. Although between yesterday and today, I cranked out a video about the code eyes, so that's my latest. And if anybody is looking for any Matrix Online merchandise, I got some digital stuff. I got the Ability Tree poster. It is printable. I got a nice big printed poster here, and I got a little video on that as well on my YouTube channel. So check out the Instagram. Uh, as you'll see, I post at the end of my videos daily Matrix content on Instagram since before it was cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of the ability poster. In fact, there is a reference to an ability. It's subtle though. In Beyond the Glitch, I don't want to give away too much because that's gonna be what's the most fun for me. What's gonna be the most fun for me is seeing what you guys think, like what you think is happening. Like it's obviously like I don't have like what the Wachowskis put into the original Matrix film. So like I'm definitely not trying to oversell the layers here, but yeah, there's definitely like I definitely try to do it in a way that it's open to interpretation. So I want to see how you guys interpret it. I want to see how you guys experience it, like what you say the story is. Like that's going to be a lot of fun for me. I'm very curious to see your feedback with all that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for making 4K happen, because I couldn't do it without you. And same goes to you, Vesuvius. I mean, you're definitely uh a teammate, a partner in this thing. I wouldn't be able to do it by myself, so I appreciate all your help, all your support. And on that note, I think we're going to do this again tomorrow night, right? Well, not this. We're going to talk about something else, but that other topic I think needs its own time because there's a lot. Like it's a long thing that we have to go over. So, right, you're good
All
for
right,
tomorrow night,
we'll
right?
do it. Yeah, I think so.
All right, yeah. So we'll work on the details of what time we're going, but I think we're definitely going to go again tomorrow. But again, thank you guys for all your support, and class is dismissed.